plaque because I forgot to do that, so I'm sorry. This award is bestowed upon the citizens of Waterloo, New York, who embodies the character and commitment of the founders of Memorial Day, Henry C. Wells and John D. Murray, toward the betterment of our community, from the Waterloo Library Historical Society.
Jane's voice is a little scratchy. I get to do the honors here. Jane and I would like to thank the Waterloo Library and Historical Society for selecting us as this year's Henry C. Wells Award recipients. We're both very honored and humbled. Many people have congratulated us for our community involvement, and to tell you the truth, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Why? Because we don't feel that we've done anything else that the rest of you haven't done in your own unique way. As Jane said many times, it takes a team. We believe that our team was originally coached by our parents, Vern and Barb Sessler and Don and Nancy Shaffer. It was through their coaching, guidance, and examples that we've become good team members and stewards of our community. Our team consistently consists not only of our family, but of our friends and other community members. We're part of the team that sees a need, the team that works together to find a solution, the team that celebrates the wins and the losses together. We're very proud to be a part of your team. And as Jane's father, Vern Sessler, always said, together we make good things happen. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations. Next, I would like to invite Senator O'Mara and Senator Helming up for their proclamation and awards.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here tonight for this great recognition of Chris and Jane. I've only represented Waterloo and Seneca County. This is just my third year now in the state senate. Very big shoes to fill, following Pam, who used to represent here, but a longtime Senator Mike Mazzolio, who we're lucky to have with us tonight. Mike, it's always great to see you. It's just such a historic venue that we're in here today. The history and tradition of Waterloo, the birthplace of Memorial Day. I'm really just proud to be here, to be a part of this with my colleague Pam, who got redistricted a little bit to the west a couple of years ago, which is why he ended up with me. But I am happy to be here and to be able to recognize Chris and Jane Shaffer with a proclamation from myself, from the New York State Senate, and really on behalf of the entire New York State Legislature, to recognize the great work that they have done. In the short time that I've been representing here, I've certainly heard a lot about the Shaffers and the Sesslers and their great involvement with the community. But reading the list of things that they were involved with, which was just read to you, it's really remarkable. The amount that they have contributed to this community, and I'm just humbled and honored to be able to be here to present this to you two this evening. And Pam, you want to?
Thank you, Tom. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I too want to congratulate Chris and Jane. As everyone knows, their list of accomplishments and achievements, it's incredible, right? It is so long. And I appreciate and I love hearing about how the values were instilled in you by your parents. But what I think is absolutely incredible is seeing how you are instilling those same values in your children and your grandchildren as well. So I really, truly appreciate that. I thank you for all that you've done. But I also want to say that you have done a lot to be tremendous mentors for people outside of your family too. Everything that you've done for this community, we've all been paying attention. We're all learning from you, and it's going to, what was the saying? Together we make great Together we make good things happen. That is so true, right? And I just want you to know that what you're doing has spread so far and will continue to spread, and we need more of that, right? So thank you all. On behalf of the New York State Senate, from Tom and I, we have a New York State Senate citation, which reads, whereas Chris and Jane Shaffer embody the values of service, stewardship, and leadership through their tireless commitment to the village of Waterloo and the broader community. And we are so thrilled, humbled, honored to be here to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're gonna move over. Get a photo.
I am delighted to have this opportunity to be with you. Something I have often said is the better part of one's life consists of his friends. And I think that we can see very well tonight that the better part of the life of a community comes from such friends as these. We should all be so lucky to have people like this in every community. We've assembled tonight to honor the Shaffers. And I think that it's inspiring in these days. We live in a nation surrounded by adversity. Adversity and circumstances well fitted to test our public faith, to test our individual virtue. But in the midst of perhaps unprecedented political troubles, we have cause today for great gratitude to the Almighty, because, as we see, individual virtue has not perished. The founders of the United States created a government based on the tenets of classical republics. Republics are held together not by an authority imposed from above, but rather they're held together from below by virtuous, law-abiding, civic-minded individuals. The founders understood that this doesn't happen naturally. Historically, republics that do not have the aid of Christian virtue have tended to fall apart. In effect, they die because people eventually prove themselves unworthy of such a government. Through laziness, self-absorption, republics tend to fall into anarchy, and to save them from such things, eventual dictatorship. Good citizens must possess virtue, an ability to see beyond their own selves, their own narrow lives, and to see the good of their community and indeed their republic, and make a commitment by placing the common good ahead of their own personal interests. So with this in mind, and amidst an awareness, I think, that of which we are all possessed, of a growing lawlessness in our common country, I one time said that civic mindedness, essentially reverence for our laws and our government, ought to be breathed into every American. Every mother with the babe upon her lap, every school teacher. It ought to be taught in seminaries, in colleges, preached from pulpits, proclaimed in legislative halls, enforced in courts of justice. Such civic mindedness ought to be the political religion of our nation. And that, essentially, is what we call civic virtue. I've had recently some intercourse with several of our generals, one of them, William Sherman, interview, disclosed some interesting thoughts. He's concluded, and I wrote these down, that our current troubles are really only a symptom of a much deeper disease. The real problem, he said, is that we have substituted our republic for a democracy, which the framers of this government understood to be quite dangerous, subject to demagogues who could stir up people in a moment with impassioned appeals to do almost anything, even lawless things. We are now, as he said, subject to an extreme democratic spirit, which substitutes mere popular opinions of the day for law and order. Sherman complained that our country has become so democratic that popular opinion in almost any vicinity has now risen above the law. People have ceased to look to the Constitution, to law books, to the Bible for their guide. They study popular opinion in bar rooms, village newspapers, and that has become the law of the land. Everywhere, from California to Maine, he said, any man may now do murder, robbery, arson, if people's prejudices in his vicinity lie in that direction, with complete impunity. The right of secession, he says, is the beginning of the end. And so in the midst of such a state of affairs, civic virtue, examples like this, true friends of liberty, shine as a great light upon the people who dwell in darkness. Our Republican robe, our Republican soul is confirmed in self-control and our liberty in law-abiding citizens, such as the Shaffers. Thank you. In these dark days.
Thank you, President. The award ceremony has come to an end, up here at least. But please feel free to continue the celebration downstairs. I see there's plenty of food, so please continue the celebration downstairs. We thank you all for your continued support, and we hope you enjoy the 2025 Celebrate Commemorate weekend, courtesy of Jane and Chris, who have done so much work so far. So thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.